Are you spending hours in the gym doing endless sets and still not seeing the results you want? Seriously think about it. Are all those extra sets actually helping, or are they just leaving you tired and sore? What if I told you there is a smarter way to train? That you could get better results in a way less time by focusing on just one perfectly executed all-out set per exercise. It sounds crazy, but stick with me. I'm going to show you how the one set method can help you build muscle without having to live in the gym. Hi, my name is Boris Kish. I'm a fully licensed IFBB coach and a professional nutritionist with a background in the super heavyweight division at over 220 pounds on stage, which is over 100 kilograms. I'm 193 centimeters tall, which is 6'4". Welcome to my channel. And I'm going to divide you this in 5 structural rules so that it's very easy for you to understand. Rule number 1 is intensity yes, stupidity no. What does that mean? It means that yes, sometimes it's really necessary to train to the failure. This is why this video is all about, but that doesn't mean no matter what. Do you understand? That doesn't mean, if you didn't have a proper 7-8 hours of sleep per night, or at least 1 additional hour in the afternoon, I highly recommend that you give that 1 hour in the afternoon if you can. I understand that probably you have a busy life and you're not able to do that. But if you are, remember, recovery is a weapon. But if you don't sleep per night enough, if you don't have at least 3 grams per kilogram of protein, if you're not putting enough nutrients per day, enough carbohydrates, like 200 grams of high quality carbs and around 50 grams of good fats, omega-3, omega-6, omega-9, then going to the failure, that is this one set method, absolutely doesn't make sense because it's stupid. So, not that you say at the end of this video, this is what you're suggesting. No, I'm not. If everything is not in order, this can lead to, honestly, catastrophe and injury, and I don't want you to do this. It's a huge risk. So everything has to be perfectly in order. You don't owe this to myself. You owe this to yourself. You don't owe this to myself. Hopefully I said that, but you owe this to yourself. Rule number 2 is 1 working set doesn't mean only 1 set, okay? That doesn't mean a heavy duty method that a lot of people are getting in a wrong way, because I also listened to the Dorian Yates interview lately, who was a pioneer. Who was doing actually, Mike Mentzer was a pioneer, but, he was a student of Mike Mentzer and he was implementing his heavy duty principle in his workouts. So, and he was also explaining that, and this is something that I'm going to explain you now, but even more precise. Again, that doesn't mean that you are going to the gym and that you do only 1 set per body part or 2 sets as somebody is suggesting, and that's everything that you have to do per exercise to give your maximum, to go there, fully with full strength and full power and do the set like that. That doesn't mean that. That means, that 1 set is the last set, and it has to be really focused and you have to really deserve it, but it means that you have to go slowly but surely to that 1 working set. Do you understand? That means, again, as Dorian was giving an interview, I saw that few days ago, until you reach that 1 working sets, there are many sets in between. Not a lot of them, doesn't mean many junk ones. I'm going to explain you also that. But, just think about it logically. You're 100% very smart, probably smarter than me, which is not hard to be. If you're squatting, let's say with 200 kilograms, how much is that? 450 pounds. You cannot have 1-2 sets until you reach that weight, right? There has to be at least 6, 7, maybe 8 in betweens, so that you warm up your joints, ligaments, knees, bones, spine, everything else until you reach this one last set that has to be bombastic, as I said, if you really deserve it. Number 3 is pyramid is extremely important for heavy, hard exercises. You know which ones are those, excuse me. Squats, bench press, deadlifts, etc. Those exercises are simply not allowing skipping. You cannot put your maximum weight, even if you do the 2-set method that I was also explaining in another videos, but this one is more advanced. You know, if you do the 1-set method, you cannot jump and you cannot, how can I explain this in English? You cannot miss those warm-up sets, but you have to understand those are not like warm-up sets, but preparations for joints and ligaments until you give your 100 maximum best that you can do. Do you understand? So therefore, the pyramid is a must-have. Normal pyramid, I was explaining my 10-8-6-6 system in some of my previous videos. This is very similar to this. This is when you're doing, for example, 10 repetitions as a start, then 8 as middle, then 2 working sets as 6. And unless, if somebody wants to ask me this system is also very good. But I made this episode for advanced lifters, and because I get a lot of comments, in the comment section, what if I need, more sets because I can lift a, really heavy weight? Then this principle is going to be much better. But that doesn't mean that 10-8-6-6 system is bullshit, where I'm recommending only 2 hard working sets. Do you understand? And of course, if you want to level up your training, I've created 3 complete training splits that you can get for free. Click the link is below, join my coaching newsletter, and I'm going to send them straight to your email. Number 4 rule is 1 set can be really enough. And when it can really be enough, that doesn't mean, listen, that doesn't mean that you have to train every workout like this. Not that you later said, okay, Boris made a video, he was suggesting now I go like this every time full power. No, as I said in the rule 1, if everything is adjusted, but also if you feel that you can progress and that you can really, give your maximum on that training. And I also wanted to tell you a little bit, about my personal experience. Hopefully you can relate with my way of thinking and philosophy. First time when I went to the gym with 17, my goal, it was that I'm also big and strong. It was not only in aesthetics, it is power. It was power. I mean, it still today is, because this, for me, the synonym for being a man is that you're also big and strong and have big shoulders, big arms, big chest, And of course, looking good is fantastic, but looking good without being strong for me is useless. I mean, I would never wanted to, personally, I'm going to tell you the truth. I would never, not that I wouldn't, of course, when I was young, I was dreaming to be Mr. Olympia. I was that delusional, but I would never like to be, for example, Mr. Olympia if I wasn't strong, and in the gym where I started, people there were like really strong, and I always wanted to be the strongest that I can be. Now, that doesn't mean, that you have to train like a power lifter, but my channel is not only for those who want to look perfect and, just going for the pump and don't go for the strength. Of course, that doesn't mean that I'm suggesting in this video that you have to, unalive yourself and that you completely have to wreck your bones and joints and destroy. But, I think the last border, the sweet spot is if you are, doing this last heavy set. I'm going to give you from my personal experience. For example, if my bench press is maximum Now with 42 years, 160 kilos, 6 times, 6 correct movements. You know, if I feel really, really good and powerful, I'm going to try 170 kilos 4 times, you know, of course with spotter. If I feel really that I can do it like that, below 4, I would not go. And again, I'm not recommending this. I'm telling you what I would do if somebody did all the requirements that I'm explaining in this video. So for example, I would start warm up with 60 kilos, 15 times, then I would move, you know, a little bit bigger weight to 12 kilograms, then, repetitions, then to 8, then to 6, and then, you know, if I really feel that I can do this one last set with 4, then I would do with 4. Do you understand? But also the last one can also be 6 if you want to play completely safe, and that's also perfectly fine. And as I said, you can start with 15 repetitions, 12 repetitions, 10 repetitions, 8, you can also go 7, and then you can go 6 if you feel like that. Do you understand? It's not a mistake. So, you know, what did I also wanted to say, you know, don't do this every workout, but from time to time it really makes sense, because this is both for strength and power and hypertrophy, you know. And of course, if you found this helpful, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button for more real, no fluff fitness advice. And the rule number 5 is, you know, years and strength is changing this principle. I mean, as I said, I'm 42. I'm really aware that I cannot train as I went to the gym with 16, you know. I'm not natural, I was always open about this, but if you're not natural also in my age, that doesn't mean that you're superhuman, that you have Wolverine regenerational abilities, you know, and that you can train hard no matter what. So the key of the rule number 5 is really, and this is completely up to you, you know, this is what you have to find for yourself. And that is the proper balance, as everything in the life, between, you know, exhaustion and longevity. Do you understand? You have to find the balance, you know, how hard you can take and your body can take, so that you don't do any permanent damage on the long term, you know. I mean, does it make sense, you know, that you always leave some reps in reserve for a few years, and then you're, you know, expecting why are you not progressing? But that also doesn't mean that you have to lift like a maniac every time, you know, to progress. I mean, I was listening to a lot of hard gainers, and they were telling me, you know, yes, you know, Boris, I increased the calories, now I'm eating 5,000 calories per day, but I'm not getting bigger. My first question is, are you getting stronger? Are you putting more plates on the bar? Are you taking heavier dumbbells? There is no steroid pad food that will force the muscle to grow until you give it a task, until you alone don't give it a proper task. So one more time, if you're doing this method, please, for you, not for me, do at least 15 repetitions on the first set, forget the reverse pyramid bullshit, and then when you do 6 correct movements, you know, if you feel that you can go a little bit more, if you have a spotter, if you're not injured, properly hydrated, did everything, you can go. I would suggest, I'm not going to tell you to do that, but I would try 4, you know, if I really want to get bigger and stronger. Therefore, please tell me in the comment section, how many working sets are you doing per exercises? 1 like I'm suggesting, 2 that is also good, or more. I would really like to see that. Let's talk. And if you really want to find the best training principle for 2026, how to get big, strong and jacked, click up on this video right here, and I'll see you there.